Ladies and gentlemen, Money in the Bank is in pretty much a month, but we still don't know who could win. We only have two competitors announced for the match. So who is going to win the men's Money in the Bank briefcase? So the two current competitors that are officially in the match are both Shinsuke Nakamura and Ricochet. But let's be honest, with all due respect to both of these men, chances are they're not going to be the ones to actually win the briefcase. There are still 6 spots left in theory, if they go for 8 competitors, which they should. So who is going to win this baby boy? Who? Let's look at some theories, okay? I brought back the glasses because y'all seem to like the glasses, so I'm gonna keep the glasses. But yeah, okay, so let's look. I will be looking at 3 wrestlers that the rumors say could be the winners. I'll be looking at 3 wrestlers that I think, could be the winners, okay? So 3 rumored and 3 Elish Us. Alright? Let's jump straight into it, okay? First wrestler, it's probably the name you've heard the most for the Money in the Bank so far, and it's none other than L.A. Knight. Yeah! I'm gonna have to get better on this one. Yeah, L.A. Knight. Why? L.A. Knight is an up-and-coming superstar, but he's liked by the crowd. Well, not necessarily by the crowd because he gets booed, but he's liked a lot by people, and he's got that look, I've said it in a Royal Rumble video and a Money in the Bank video, but for me, the Royal Rumble is more of a face thing for the good guys, and Money in the Bank is a bit more for the bad guys, for the heels, okay? Why? Because Royal Rumble, it's all about you've defeated 29 other superstars, you've won, you're going to WrestleMania, it's the pinnacle of your career, blah, 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 As the Money in the Bank, it's more like you have that briefcase, you can cash it in whenever you want, you can interrupt a match, you can come after a match, it's more sneaky, it's more mean and all, okay? So I believe a Money in the Bank fits more a heel, If we think about some of the greatest, like, Money in the Bank holders, Seth Rollins, and his cash-in was great, Edge, CM Punk, even Dolph Ziggler, they all did a great job with the briefcase. Orton, it wasn't long, but his cash-in, it was pure heel, okay? You cannot say otherwise. So it fits better when it's bad guys rather than good guys, So LA Knight is a bad guy, he's up and coming, and he has that look of that superstar, that could cash in at any moment, doesn't care if he wins clean or not, as long as he gets the championship. My problem with LA Knight is that he's not, like, to that level yet. He's incredible, he's very talented, okay? But he hasn't been on the main roster for so long, Like, you need to give him a bit more time, in my opinion, okay? Like, so far his most notable feud was with Bray Wyatt, where they had that weird match at back at the Royal Rumble, the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Interesting, yeah. So, I'm dripped out. I just realized I have the glasses, I have this, I have this, I have this. Whew. But getting back to the subject, LA Knight is always a great pick, but will he actually win? And that's another thing to consider, because Roman Reigns was the only world champion ever since WrestleMania 38. But now that Seth Rollins is the new world heavyweight champion, you have new possibilities. That means that the Money in the Bank winner could cash in either on Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins, or even go for the mid-card championships. Man, I was looking for that word. So there are plenty more opportunities and possibilities. So it doesn't necessarily mean that he'll go for the world champions or only for Roman Reigns. Okay, that is the first. That's LA Knight. He's a great pick. He would be so entertaining with the briefcase. Will he actually win when he cashes in? That's where I doubt a lot. Okay, but the rest, he can do an incredible job. Next, another name that has been thrown around, even by me, and it's none other than Logan Paul. The problem with Logan Paul is that he's not so active, And we already have one of the world champions that isn't so active. So if you have also the Money in the Bank holder that isn't so active, we've got an issue, my friend, So it depends, okay? Because, like, Logan Paul, he's going to bring the briefcase everywhere with him, He has a podcast named Impulsive, so he's going to have the briefcase, okay? He's going to have it with him. It's going to be, like, in the background. He's going to have it, anywhere, okay? He's going to bring the briefcase and, try to showcase it and bring some importance to it, because the main problem with Money in the Bank right now is that it's not so important. It's not so relevant. So it needs to be relevant. It needs to be important. And by Logan Paul showing it everywhere and, he fits, he's the heel guy, he's a bit of the cocky guy who goes back, and he had his rivalry with Seth Rollins, and he also had his rivalry with Roman Reigns. So, like, He has history with both men, and it would be funny to see him with the briefcase. But it goes pretty much the same thing as LA Knight, so there's not much to say. So we get to the third name that came out a bit more recently, and it's Drew McIntyre. Let me explain. Drew McIntyre has been out ever since, I think it was the Raw after Mania. The Raw right after WrestleMania, because Vince McMahon started to come back and take more place in the management and creative decisions and all. And Drew was very unpleased. There were a couple of incidents and all. And ever since, we haven't seen Drew McIntyre, okay? Are those just excuses and he's actually coming back soon for something else? Maybe. We don't know, okay? But many people even said he was not going to, renew his contract. He was going to leave, even maybe for AEW. So there was a lot of speculations that people were getting scared a little. But recently, rumors, started to surface and started talking about Drew McIntyre possibly being one of those names that could come back and win Money in the Bank, okay? He has that perfect story, okay? Let's say something happens and one of the 8 competitors is injured, so they need a replacement. We don't know who it is until the match starts. The final man to come in is Drew McIntyre. He makes his return. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. You have a lot of people engaged. Drew McIntyre dominates the match, eventually wins the briefcase, and now you have Drew McIntyre on top. And he had his rivalries with Seth, but also with Roman. Because, remember, Drew McIntyre faced Roman Reigns back in 2022 at Clash at the Castle. He almost beat him, but Solo Sikoa interfered, And right now, even the bloodline crumbling, it would be a perfect opportunity for Drew. And Drew is actually, compared to Logan Paul and LA Knight, once again, respect to both of these men, but Drew McIntyre is a main eventer, okay? He's been world champion not so long ago. He carried the pandemic era as the world heavyweight champion, well, the WWE champion. He beat Randy Orton, he beat some incredible names, and he was dominant. So he's the kind of guy that if he cashes in, he's going to win the championship and do great, etc., etc., So he's the third name because it actually makes a lot of sense. He would be someone that will elevate your briefcase. He'd be there on every show. It would be a way to, convince him to get back and renew his contract, etc. And he poses an actual threat to both Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, even the mid-card champions. If Gunther is still champion, they faced at WrestleMania with Sheamus, but they have some mystery. So it'd be interesting to see what Drew McIntyre could do with the briefcase. Maybe he's going to be more of a heel when he comes back, since we haven't seen him as a heel ever since 2019, somewhere like this. So yeah, Drew McIntyre, third rumored name. Now, let's get into some of my predictions. Okay, they aren't necessarily my predictions, but just names that I thought of that weren't being talked about a lot, but could actually be the ones. First one, please don't boo, please don't hate, okay? Breathe in, breathe out. Omos. I just lost so many subscribers. I know, okay? Please. I know, Omos, I know. We all think the same thing. But Omos... Okay, listen to me. Omos is someone that could win. Do I want him to win? Not necessarily, but he could win. Why? He's dominant. Management and the people backstage seem to like it a lot. Okay, from what I read, from what I heard. Okay, those are all rumors. Okay, and everything that I just said before, it's rumors. Okay, so none of it is official. Don't credit me for anything. Those are just rumors. Okay, and my predictions. But he's liked backstage apparently. He's eager to learn and to get better and blah blah blah. And even though he's been defeated in the past, it's still like a 7-foot monster. And if he has the briefcase, so because even if you're Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins, if you just had a 30-minute match and then you have a 7-foot tall giant coming to the ring to cash in on you, your chances are they're it's your chances are no chance, my brother. MVP could carry around the briefcase, and it would be a great push for Omos. Maybe this is what he needs to finally get to a main event level, which is they have been trying to bring him, to that main event level for quite a while, let's be honest. But yeah, so Omos, okay, he could be a great pick, but I don't think he's the best pick. But you always gotta consider Omos. It's WWE love him, and they'll put him anywhere they can. My only question is, how the heck will he climb the ladder? Chances are it's going to be MVP that is going to climb it for him. Or they're going to do some shenanigans like they did in 2020. Where, Styles and Corbin, I believe, were fighting for the briefcase, and then it fell down and Otis caught it. Man. Still to this day, this is one of the moments I got like the angriest watching wrestling. It's probably my top 3 moments where I got the angriest watching wrestling. I'm not gonna tell you the other moments because I might make a video on that. It's actually quite a good idea. I'll note it. But getting to the next name, okay? So yeah, Omos. We're done with Omos, okay? Finn Balor. I don't know if people like Finn Balor, but like Finn Balor, okay? Why Finn Balor? First of all, they were trying to push him to a main event level. Last night on Raw, well, as I'm recording this, but last night on Raw, he he confronted Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. Seth Rollins is the current World Heavyweight Champion. He has history with both Seth and Roman. He's a heel, he fits the character perfectly, and also having the Judgment Day behind him. So if he cashes in, he has 3 other people that can beat up the champion while he cashes in. The match starts, and he goes just to pin him or do the coup de grace and then win, you know? And, you know, the Money in the Bank, if you want to bring Finn Balor back in the main event status, you know, being claimed as a main eventer and one of the top guys, and you want to put a title on him and want him to carry the show, having Money in the Bank is probably one of the best, if not the best option, okay? Because it's just going to smooth it in, you know? He wins a briefcase, he gets more and more importance, he cashes in with the whole Judgment Day helping him, so it's not even a clean win. It keeps the whole heel thing and cheating thing of the Judgment Day, and it's a perfect opportunity, and it helps elevate the Judgment Day, because they're pretty much the top stable in WWE right now. Considering that the Bloodline is gone, the Judgment Day is pretty much, you know, it's as high as you can get. It's the Judgment Day in terms of factions in WWE, you know? Don't tell me that Maximum Male Models are better. Just don't, okay? But yeah, Finn Balor, great opportunity. He could carry your show eventually. He could be the next champion after Seth Rollins. So yeah, my pick would be Finn Balor. If I had to choose, if I was a booker at WWE, if I was working WWE Creative, I would go with Finn Balor. Just makes the most sense. Finally, Bobby Lashley. Why Bobby Lashley? Because, first of all, it's been a while since he's been world champion. Well, a while. Like 2 years. But like, still, he's a main event caliber superstar. It's probably the last world championship he would get. He's got that build and, you know, that dominance to be able to beat a lot of people. He's beaten Seth Rollins and he could be a threat to Seth Rollins. And Roman Reigns has never faced Bobby Lashley. So Bobby Lashley could actually be a great challenger for Roman Reigns, you know? Like, he uses the spear too. He's very jacked, very strong, so Roman Reigns can outpower him. Roman Reigns doesn't have the bloodline anymore. You know, like, and their situations are comparable very easily, you know? Lashley used to have MVP, and then Cedric and Shelton, but lost them all. Roman Reigns is losing everybody around him. Situations are very similar, okay? He got betrayed by someone very close to him, and he's dominant. Bobby Lashley is very dominant. He's very strong. He's beaten Drew McIntyre. He's been WWE champion. He's beaten a lot of people. He's very dominant, okay? And he was United States champion not so long ago, like max a year ago, I believe. He was US champion. So it could be a great opportunity, okay? If you want someone that is strong and that you're like, yeah, he could actually win any title, you know, it's the same as Drew McIntyre. They're both main event caliber superstars that you put the Money in the Bank on them and they could defeat anyone and you'd be like, yeah, I see it, you know? So that's pretty much it for the list, honestly. Reminder, the first 3 being LA Knight, Logan Paul, and Drew McIntyre are rumors, okay? The names that go around the most from what I read, from what I heard. Maybe you hear other names and it's totally okay. And the other 3 being Omos, Finn Balor, and Bobby Lashley are my picks, okay? Are people that I believe could win, not necessarily that I want to win, although I really want Finn to win, but, you know, names that could win. Also, I'm recording this just after the first Monday Night Raw, so I only know that Ricochet and Shinsuke are qualified. So if eventually none of these competitors even qualify for the match, don't be like, oh, your list is wrong. I don't know yet. I only know 2 people. Okay. I work with what I have, you see? But yeah, so that's pretty much the list. Do you agree, or who do you think should actually win Money in the Bank? It's up and coming. Okay, it's in pretty much a month. So tell me who should be Mr. Money in the Bank for the 2023 year. And thank you for watching as always. Please subscribe. I always appreciate it. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.